Um, Greg, we want to acknowledge you before we get into your story and everything you are doing, because you actually were the person that introduced us to Kevin Harrington, who was on the book. I know you guys have done some business and been partners together on deals, and he jumped on a couple hours ago with us, and he's obviously one of the contributing authors. So, because of your network, you've blessed us, and so we're very, very grateful for that. So we want to acknowledge you first for just being an abundant networker first and foremost.
Wonderful. Glad that
All
worked
I
out.
wanted to say was, we have the man, the myth, the legend, Greg Ryder on.
Yeah, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Guys.
He is real,
here.
right?
He's real.
No, guys, I met Greg, 4 years ago at one of Laurel Langmeyer's events. And
Yep.
Greg actually, funny story with Greg, he got on stage. So I flew all the way to, I kind of told you guys the story earlier. I flew all the way to San Diego, stayed in a really, crappy hotel where there wasn't even a bathroom. And I think there were 6 total people in the whole room at Laurel's event. And she's like, "You flew all the way from Nebraska to come here?" I was like, "Yes, I did." And then, Greg gets on stage, starts talking about his book, and says, "What is it going to cost you not to take this opportunity?" And I was like, you know what? I'm not sure who this guy is, but for some reason I'm getting like goosebumps, and I feel like I should do this. And I went and did it, and, stayed connected with Greg throughout, and it's been a crazy journey. Here we are, built Changing Lanes, a 6-figure company. Now I'm a 2-time best-selling author. Thank you, everyone. Before even turning 23, it's all because I took a leap of faith, and it's all because Greg got on stage and said, what is it going to cost you not to take this opportunity? So, Greg, I want to say thank you for doing that.
No, I remember that, and I was like, dude, you drove all the way here, and it's like I remember that specifically, and I remember telling you, look, you took action, just keep going, don't give up. It was awesome. I won't forget that. That was pretty. You were pretty impressive to me with that, with the mindset you had of I'm going to change my life. Here's where I'm going. I'm on board. So that was cool.
Very cool.
Awesome. Yeah, so I guess I can start it off by,
Sure.
Greg, you've done a lot of amazing things. You always talked about you were that kid from Rich Dad Poor Dad, and, the path you've gone so far, and you've done so many amazing things, becoming one of the main investors in QVC and kind of starting that off. Now you're working with celebrities all around the world, and you run the Angel Investors Network. But what was the thing that got you started, and how did you start?
Okay. I gotta reach over and find a book.
There it is.
There you go.
Right. So I just bought 10 of them. I got 2 left. I was really, it's that whole story, that Rich Dad Poor Dad story. I was born to a wealthy family. My parents got divorced when I was 2. I lived with my mom, had multiple stepdads, half brothers, half sisters, visited my dad. And I tell people, when I visited my dad, when I go out to dinner with my mom and my stepdad, the bill was $80. When I went out to dinner with dad, the tip was $200. And my dad taught me how to invest when I was 19 years old. And because my dad was in the good old boy network and he was like, buy this, sell this, buy this, sell this, we made a lot of money. I got this book, Think and Grow Rich. I got introduced to Dennis Waitley, Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, all that personal development stuff. I got my securities license and I went and bought the firm that I worked for, and I was the youngest owner of a full service investment bank in the history of the country. And that's kind of how I got my start. It's one of those things. It's like, wow, that's all you got to do. It seemed easy back then.
Well, tell us about that real quick. Elaborate a little bit more, because I remember you telling us about kind of I believe it was the Denver Broncos, who you're a big fan of. They're having a good season. Yeah. I love football myself. They're having a good year. And I remember you kind of saying you would jump the fence at your dad's house and kind of go over and hang out with some of them. And you kind of had that decision of which side of the fence did you want to be on. And you mentioned that a little bit with, your mom versus your dad. But is that a gift, or do you think that people can acquire that? In other words, the mindset that you had was kind of just, well, I can see this. That's what I want. If people haven't been exposed to that, how do they shift their mindset and think and grow rich?
Well, and I think that word you just used is one of my favorite words. You got to get exposed to it. You have to constantly expose yourself to new things and everything. So for me, I think one of the big epiphanies for me is growing up with my mom and being, this black sheep of the Ryder family out of Colorado. And anyone from Colorado, there's like a whole square block in downtown Denver named after my family. It's like my dad wasn't anything special. It was just like, my mom worked hard. My mom was an entrepreneur, and I see my dad and I see all this money he's making. And I'm like, what's up with this? And it wasn't anything special. He didn't have any special gifts that made him successful. Just, it was kind of like the relationships he had from the family relationships. He was in that good old boy network. And so to me, I'm like, hey, I can do that. So I think by living in one house and visiting another house and living on one side of the railroad tracks and visiting another side of the railroad tracks and kind of recognizing there was nothing special over there and that I could do it, it kind of gave me that drive to do it. And I was in church this Sunday. I'm not necessarily proud of this, but I had this memory that I completely forgot about. My pastor said when I was a kid, I would go to the store and steal gum and sell the sticks of gum. Huh. And he also got into selling drugs too. And I had this epiphany. I did the same thing in 7th grade. And then in ninth grade, I was buying bags of pot for $10, rolling 30 joints and selling the joints for $1 a bag and turning my $10 into $30. And I'm like, wow. I had completely forgot that. But that's like something maybe in me that was this entrepreneurial salesman, hustling something, wow. I was like, and I'm like, I'm so ashamed. I'm in church. I'm hearing my pastor say he did. I'm like, oh, I did the same thing. It was like, wow, it was a trip. But you go back to the investment banking world. So I was in my dad and got exposed to it. And I love entrepreneurs. I love capitalism. I love free enterprise. I love the Constitution. I love what America stands for. I love the that kind of stuff. So I'm attracted to people with drive. I'm attracted to guys like Landon Harris who are out there doing things, making a difference in the lives of people. And there's just nothing more gratifying than, chasing your dream and even catching a part of it, even if you don't catch all of it. There's nothing better than that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember I went to Denver, so I used to work for Lexus. And I was a guy when someone would buy a car, I would explain what all the buttons in the car do. That was my job. And on occasion to drive from one location to another. And I don't know how it happened, but a lady bought a car in Arizona, and I had to drive from Nebraska to Arizona. And I made it a point to make sure I stopped in Denver to check out Ryder Square. And I remember checking it out, and it inspired me so much. And I said, within a month, I'm quitting my job. And I did. I took a huge leap of faith. And, that's when I became the vice president of Changing Lanes. And I was full-time as an entrepreneur, running Changing Lanes, not sure if I was doing the right thing or the wrong thing. And literally, here we are a year later, 6 figures later, and it's all working out the way it should. But I took that leap of faith again because I heard Greg in the back of my head saying, hey, what's it going to cost you not to try this? Because Lexus was not fun. There was a boss walking around telling you, I can fire all of you guys at any given point. Everyone here is replaceable. And then he didn't like me when I said, even you?
See, a rebel at heart you are.
Exactly.
That's funny.
So I want to talk a little bit about the Angel Investors Network and kind of what you are doing now, because I'm really interested in that.
Well, I am glad to bring you up to speed on that, and I'm changing lanes in a big, big, big way. Yep. So, I started Angel Network in 1997. I bought the domain angelnetwork.com in 1997, and my vision was to have this online angel group where we could help fund entrepreneurs and raise capital for entrepreneurs on a nationwide basis using video and technology and all this different stuff. And of course, it was way ahead of its time. It was a big failure back in 1997 when I tried to do that. But now the time's here with crowdfunding, the new laws, the Jobs Act, video, all that kind of stuff. There's lots of money being raised online. You can meet investors, you can get your deal in front of people. And so Angel Investors Network has kind of been revived about 4 years ago. And also because of Shark Tank. Shark Tank was such a high educational tool to teach people what angel investing is and how it works. So between the combination of that and the new laws, we brought it back to life. We revived our database. We've been helping entrepreneurs, get funding and fund deals. And we've had a couple events and teaching entrepreneurs marketing and marketing strategies. And the one thing from that perspective that I think is really good advice for everyone is if you're trying to raise capital for your business, think of it as a marketing, like you're marketing a product or a service. It's like a product launch, like a book launch. You're doing things, but you're marketing your investment opportunity. But right now, this second, I'm looking to sell to a managing partner. I've actually started a new company called Celebrity Lifestyle Brands. And that's a whole other thing we can get into. I don't know how much time we have, but it's a new vision of mine. It's a new strategy I have. and we have some amazing stuff going. I mean, just incredible stuff going on. And so I'm actually looking for somebody who wants to buy a big piece of Angel Network, becoming a managing partner. I don't want to exit it. It's been my baby forever, and I have a lot of connections and a lot of relationships in that space. But I am looking to sell it and sell somebody to be a managing director or managing partner with me.
Awesome. And actually, I might have a good fit for you. I met someone in Vegas who does a lot of this investing and taking over businesses, but, not being the forefront of everything as well. So I'll definitely connect you with him. He's a great guy and really, really smart. So I think you guys will work well together, and there's definitely some synergy with you guys.
Very cool. Very
you
cool.
have similar paths.
Awesome. And Greg, I know you got connected with somebody that I introduced you to out in San Diego. I think you guys are maybe doing some business together with the new stuff. I won't say the name or anything, but hopefully we can continue connecting you with some people. I think you had a meeting with her and him and one of their athletes that they're marketing for right now, if that rings a bell.
Yeah, can I share my screen and show you guys that?
Sure.
As in, I don't know
I don't
if
it's an
you can.
You can.
It says I can. Did I?
Oh, there you go.
Perfect.
Well, even better. Look at that. We just learned something.
Okay, so this is my website, Celebrity Lifestyle Brands, and we're about building stars into brands, right? And working with celebrities, influencers, and helping them monetize their social media through fashion, apparel, merchandise, e-commerce, and membership sites. And Christina Million's one of our business partners, and she's an amazing little pop star celebrity. My business partner in this venture is a guy named Bernd Ullman. Bernd Ullman is the CEO of another company called Star Branding with Tommy Hilfiger. He built the brand for Jennifer Lopez, Adam Levine, Nicki Minaj. He used to be the CEO and president for Fat Fashions, Russell Simmons, and prior to that, Damon John. He literally is one of the top fashion entrepreneurs in the world. Responsible for doing the largest apparel deal ever in the world, and branding guy, amazing guy. And we also have a new client, the Champions Basketball League. If you guys like basketball and like sports, there's a new league in town. It's going to be a summer league, all former NBA players, all stars, amazing situation, 16 cities, 16 teams, real family oriented. It's incredible. We're doing all the stuff for that. And then here you go, Lane. Here's who you introduced me to, World Artists United. And
there you go. Yep.
Through that relationship, we are going to be doing some merchandise and some apparel and some T-shirts and stuff for their client, Odell Beckham Jr. And that's just the first one, and there's more and more to come. So there they are, front and center on our website. And then we also have Chris Stoikas, and this guy, he's an amazing marketer. Actually, the Dollar Beard Club. He would slap you silly and with shaving cream. Amazing entrepreneur, had over, I think, a couple 100 million views to their videos for the Dollar Beard Club. So that's pretty special, pretty cool what's going on there. So
cool. Well, I'm glad that introduction worked out. I figured it would be good, and he's obviously got a huge brand, so that'll be good for you guys.
Yeah. So anyone looking to do apparel, launch an e-commerce store, we acquired an e-commerce business. So we actually have our own e-commerce platform. So we're kind of a competitor to Shopify. And in our case studies with our clients, they're getting like 2.5 times better closing rates or better conversion rates with our technology rather than Shopify, because it was built by internet marketers for internet marketers. So anyone that wants to do the e-com business, look us up. So again, talk about changing lanes, right? From going down this investment banking, coaching, consulting, mentoring role to now I'm in it. I'm knee deep in. I'm the president of the company. Bernd Ullman's our CEO, and we're making acquisitions. We formed the company in February, and through our acquisitions and what we've done, we're on track to do $9 million in revenues next year. And I got a big deal that I can't say the name, but I will I'll say it this way to kind of give some. I'm so excited. It's like it's one of the top 10 female celebrities in the world that we're looking to sign a deal with very shortly. And if we do that, talk about game changer and lane changer. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I think Horace might want an introduction to her, whoever that is. On a personal level.
Hey, you're the same age.
Hey, perfect.
There you go. It's all about the network, baby. Awesome. Awesome,
Man,
Greg. So
what a boring life you have, Greg.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what else? We've got another
Yeah,
10 minutes or so, and Horace, if you have questions, or Greg, if there's anything you want to
yeah,
share, and just it's an open forum at this point.
yeah,
Yeah.
of course. So one question that I have that's kind of like a reoccurring theme, and I just want to hear everyone's answers. With Kevin, with you, you guys have reached such a level of success, and you're working with all of these celebrities, and you could literally retire and not do anything for the rest of your life, and you'd be okay. What keeps you going? What keeps you excited? What keeps you, wanting to learn? Because I'm sure you're still up to date with all the new marketing things that are coming out and marketing trends and e-commerce things, and you're up to date on all of these things. What keeps you excited to learn all of it and kind of keep going?
You know what? That's a good question that you always are trying to ask yourself, and I'm always trying to figure out. And here's my answer to it. I don't know how accurate it is or what people think about this, but I listened to I bought into the philosophy that my car was my college when I was 19, 20 years old, and I
Hmm.
listened to thousands of hours of tapes and Dennis Waitley's and Zig Ziglar's and Brian Tracy's and Tony
Yeah,
Robbins and everybody, right? And I think that I did that so much so often that it just like programmed my mind that way. So like when I go to events now and people talk about that negative self-talk, or they talk about having to do different things from personal development level, my body and my mind just does that naturally. I program myself to control my thoughts, to control my emotions, and it just has worked for me. And I made a commitment 30 years ago, however long it's been, 25, 28 years ago, that I was going to learn 20 minutes a day. And I can't say I've done that, but I've done a pretty good job at it. I've done a pretty good job at it, that every day I'm doing something to grow, because I bought into that philosophy
yeah,
that if you're not growing, you're dying. Um,
yep,
and then I think the other thing for me, I don't know why, but I was very competitive. I've always been an athlete. I grew up on skis. I was very competitive, all that kind of stuff. And so to me, what I tell my children when they see me work so hard and they see me put in the hours and they see me do that stuff, and I remember telling them, it's like, man, this is like my sport, right? Like when you play football, or you play, my son played football, my son played baseball, my other son played basketball, my daughter played basketball. They loved the game so much. The practice wasn't practice. Games were,
yeah,
the competitive nature of games was fun. I said, that's like me. It's like my business is my sport. So for me, it's like,
right,
I want to come to the game. I want to come to the field. I want to throw that ball. I want to be that quarterback. I want to be that coach. And so I just enjoy it so much. It's like I just dig it. And then and to me, I get the satisfaction of people saying, "Dude, you changed my life. Dude, that's awesome. You inspired me."
mhm,
And because I've been that coach mentor for so long, I've done that, and I've always been passionate about what I'm doing. It's just a way of life for me. So that, I think that's my answer to that question. I don't know how much that helps anybody out there, but that's what it was for me.
yeah, definitely. We earlier we talked about kind of understanding yourself and kind of becoming self-aware and doing what you love, and I think that's where you are. You're just doing something where if you're not doing it, it's weird, right? You don't know what to do if you're not doing what you love. And a lot of people have problems finding out, what do I really love to do? What is one key, and how does someone figure out, hey, I want to run all these different businesses and I love doing them so much that I'm going to work 24/7 on them. How does someone find that?
Well, they say you have to have the why. You got to have the why, and obviously my why was just success. It's like and my family and my kids, and I love what I do, and I've just been I'm very responsible, very dedicated, very disciplined. And again, I'll tell you, you go back to the books that change your life, and I've had a lot of them, but here's another one that I buy this book and I give it away constantly, because one of my favorite sayings that I kind of made my own saying out of this book is, small things done consistently over long periods of time guarantee success, guarantee results. No matter what you want to do, you want to lose weight, you want to be successful, you want to make more money, you want to move, you want to live in a different place, you want to have it doesn't matter. Small things done consistently over long periods of time. And again, I've been following Lane, what you guys are doing too, and you guys are the epitome of that. It's like just boom, boom, boom. You don't give up. You keep doing it. You're on top of it, and the growth just happens. The success happens. The relationships happen, and it just works. So, and I think that's the other thing too, like with you guys as well, because people see that in me, I attract the right kind of relationships, the right kind of relationships come into my life. People like Kevin Harrington respect me, go, God, that guy's a doer. Look what that guy's doing.
Mhm.
Chris Stoikus just called me yesterday. He's like, dude, I got to tell you, I love you, man. I'm like, why? He's like, you just do things. You just get things done. You're a doer. Like,
Yeah,
and he's like, I love that about you because it's like we're in this world where so many people talk the game but don't do. And he's like, you just get
right.
stuff done. You're on top of it. I'm like, yeah, I guess I
Yeah. Yeah, I remember I was at an event and Kevin was out at an event and I didn't recognize him at first because, it's the backside of Kevin and I was just talking with somebody and Kevin goes, Horace? I turned around and I was like, oh, hey, Kevin. And it's Kevin Harrington. He's like, congratulations on your newest book. Yeah, and this was, when we launched our second book, I was like, you pay attention to that? He's like, man, of course I do. I'm a huge fan. I was like, me? I'm just a kid from Bosnia, like doing what I do. Like I didn't even know Kevin was watching. You just never know who's watching and who's kind of supporting what you're doing and seeing
That's a
you
good
do
point.
this stuff, right?
Very good point.
Yeah,
Very good point.
absolutely. So Greg, as you make this transition, it sounds like you have a lot of stuff going on and everything. I've always heard the acronym FOCUS is follow one course until successful. And I think when you do that, people watch that and then you can use and transition those skill sets and mindset into the next thing. So the reason you're going to crush and already are this new venture is because you're just transitioning from one to the other and you're just learning what you don't know about that industry, right? With the same skill set, the same work ethic, the same everything else. What advice would you have for somebody who's trying to find their lane? They're not super passionate necessarily, or maybe they are. So either they're passionate and fearful, or they don't really know what they want to do, and so they're just kind of stuck sitting there saying, "I'm just going to kind of stay in this lane, unfulfilled and unhappy until I figure it out."
Yeah, no, you gotta make some things happen. You gotta change, And I'm real strategic in the way I do things. Like I think things through. And I have a son right now, and my son's 24, and he's kind of going through that right now. And you know what he did? He went to Peru for 6 months. he went to Peru and he stayed in the Amazon jungle for 6 months because he doesn't know what he wants to do. Um, and I don't know that I could do that, but he doesn't like to plan anything. He's like, I'm just gonna let it come, and I'm a planner. I want to like look for that future, set those goals, back into that, take those, eat the elephant one bite at a time. And I'm a guy of faith, and I pray. So to me, if you're not there, maybe that would help too. Is just prayer, because you got to have some direction. You got to kind of know what you want to do, and then it's about the relationships and be strategic about putting those pieces of the puzzle together. And for me, like with this newest venture, I was very strategic from day one about what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, how I'm going to build the foundation. I didn't set out to. I didn't say. I hear I'm going to do 9 million this year. And I knew that going to day one. I'm like, I'm going to make these acquisitions. I'm going to put these things in place. And within my first year, I'm going to be at $10 million in revenues, give or take. And that's going to set me apart from every other startup in the world. And here I am accomplishing those goals because I knew exactly what I wanted to do there. So.
Yeah, one thing I want to bring up is a lot of people, for some reason they hear 9 million and they feel like it's just 9 million. And especially in the advertising world, which is where I spent a lot of my time, and especially working with Gary Vaynerchuk and all of them, they see, hey, you guys made, $1 million off of an ad spend or whatever. They don't realize you have to put in like $500,000 to get that million. And there's a lot of work you got to put in to be able to get out $9 million from a company as a startup. A lot of people feel happy if they make $10,000 as a startup, where you're thinking much bigger and larger, and you're saying 9 million. I think that's from your previous expertise and mentors. Well, hey,
don't let me miss me. We're not making 9 million. We're generating 9 million revenues. We're going to be probably 9 million revenues with probably less than $1 million in earnings. Right. But that's not too bad. That's kind of the point of, I want to build a couple $100 million a year revenue company with $20 to $30 million EBITDA going into year 5. That's where you got to start, right? You got to get off the ground. So.
Right. One thing that I know is a lot of people, especially starting off, they're scared to spend on marketing dollars, and they're scared to spend to get someone on their team, where, like you said, you guys, you're at 9 million, but you net just a little under $1 million. Where people are scared to take that first leap of faith and try it. And especially with advertising, I know this whole world, you got to just try it, put in $1 and see how it works, tweak, try again, until you get the system right. How do you encourage someone to kind of get off of thinking about doing it and going into acting?
What's it going to cost you not to do this? What is it going to cost you?
Hey,
How much time?
There you
How
go.
much money? How much of your life? What kind of relationships? You're going to lose your. What's it going to cost you not to make decisions? And here's the other thing. Being I'm like the angel investor. I'm like a small business entrepreneur startup coach. And I'll say it. I'm one of the best I know. Right. I'm good at it. Right. And I tell people, look, if you're not willing to spend money advertising and marketing your business, you're pretending to be a business. There's never been a business ever in the history of mankind that grew into any significance that didn't spend money on advertising and marketing. So quit playing and pretending. Get serious about what you're doing, and don't hire the cheapest people you can find. Hire the best people you can find. You get what you pay for. I can't tell,
I
and you guys have probably
100%
heard this a
agree.
million times, right? It's like,
Yeah.
how many times we heard somebody going, "Oh, I hired this guy." I just talked to a guy 2 days ago. Matter of fact, I just remember this story. He's like, "I spent $2,000 on Facebook ads and didn't sell one T-shirt." I'm like, "Well, whoever you hired was a crook, because that's impossible,
Yeah,
right? You cannot spend $2,000 on Facebook ads and not sell a T-shirt. I spent $8 and sell a T-shirt or two T-shirts. It's like, come on."
yeah,
So, and it's unfortunate there's so many people out there that are what I call posers. So you really got to, leverage the network and leverage. It's like Lane recommending me, or you recommending me, or you guys recommending vice versa, us back and forth, right? I do not throw my recommendations around lightly. I do not recommend people that I haven't used, that I don't trust, that I don't do business with, because to me it's a reflection on me. I remember this story. I
yep,
met this guy. He was one of our investor network with WD-40, and he had this hiring situation that they only hired people from a friend of somebody who already worked there. So like, we're hiring people WD-40. I work for WD-40. I recommend Lane, right? If Lane doesn't work out, I lose my job.
Sure.
So they only got
yep,
the best recommendations ever, right? So if you think about that, if I recommend somebody to somebody else and it doesn't work out, I lose my business. I lose my house. I lose everything I have. And if you take that seriously, it's going to be amazing, what kind of relationships you end up having in the network that you create.
right. And that resonates a ton with me because, not a knock on Omaha entrepreneurs, but when I went to San Diego, I could have gone here for an event and gotten around people that have $1 million business or $100,000 business, but I wanted to seek the best. Kevin Harrington's built gigantic companies, gigantic brands. He's a shark on Shark Tank, and he's one of the best entrepreneurs out there. And I wanted to get around the very best because that's what I want. So I definitely resonate with that a lot when you say, you need to get around the best in the world, not just these, posers. Not saying that anyone in Omaha is a poser, but I want to get around the best in the world, and I want to create $100 million companies, and I can't get around someone that's created a six-figure company teaching me how to do $9 million in revenue, right? So I need to get around the best in the world. So that really resonated with me.
Yeah, no, it's key. It's key to hire the best, and then when you get good people on working on what you're doing, you start to see results. You start to see results, then it's not hard to. Then it's like, then you're really not advertising. You're putting money in, $1 in and getting $2 out. Then it's like, that's a different game. That's fun. Everyone wants to do that.
Forever and ever. Lane, were you trying to say something?
No, Greg, it's been amazing. No, it's just, one of the coolest things about what we do is we get to learn every time we do what we love. And there's not many opportunities like that. Interviewing you and every other person in this book was partly for, partly for us helping other people, but indirectly we were learning along the way. Every time we interviewed somebody, it was like, wow, I didn't think about that, or I forgot about that, or I overlooked that, or you know what, I used to know that, I used to do that, but now I'm not doing that. Let me get back into doing that. And so it's just so fun. So we appreciate, your message. We appreciate your chapter, your contribution, just having you as a lane changer in our network to be able to refer people back and forth. And it's a good perspective to really value the introductions that you make, because a lot of times somebody will say, hey, I want an introduction to this person, and I'm afraid that they're going to ruin that relationship because they're not in an abundant mindset, and they're just going to be take. And so I don't make that introduction based not on the person that they might actually have synergy, but it's actually the person that I'm introducing to the person, and make sure that they're not going to waste their time, because it is valuable, and our network does become our net worth. And at the same time, there is some personal responsibility. And I think that if you were to introduce somebody to me, I love the idea, but it wouldn't change in other words, if they didn't work out, it wouldn't change my opinion about you the first time. they just might be in a bad place in life, or they came across the wrong way. If you did it a second time or a third time and a fourth time, I'm just going to say, hey, Greg, I appreciate the introduction, but I'm just not going to spend my time doing it because of repeat patterns.
Yeah.
But I do my best not to necessarily judge, the first time, because I've definitely introduced people that I thought were perfect, had synergy. They're both experts at what they do. Clash of personalities, clash of timing, whatever it might be. So I love the concept, and I'm going to make sure that I value our network a little bit more. And hopefully the people we introduce you to continue to work out the way that we have, I think, to this point. So we appreciate that. And we appreciate the introductions you've made for us and your contribution, man. This book is amazing, guys. And Greg is our last expert in the book that we're going to have on as a live interview. So Greg, any last parting thoughts that you have for everybody that's watching right now and that has been watching the entire day?
No, my biggest thing is I remember the late mentor of mine, Charlie Tremendous Jones, saying, "You will become the books you read and the people you hang out with. Take that to heart. Buy books, read them, give them away. Buy books, stack them on your shelves, give them away. Get in the habit of that giving." And then I can't remember who taught this to me. This is not good, but I remember maybe it might have been, I don't know, but I wake up every day and I've trained myself. The minute I wake up, literally the second I wake up, I start giving thanks. Thank you for being awake. Thank you for being alive. Thank you for my wife. Thank you for my dog. Thank you for my house. Thank you for my business. Thank you for my partners. And get into that moment of gratitude the second you open your eyes before your feet hit the ground. And so I always tell everybody, wake up every day with an attitude of gratitude, and then go tell somebody you love them, and you'll have a better day.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Love it. Well,
I love that.
In that, we are very grateful for you, grateful for every single person that's been on with us being interviewed today, every single person that's commented, shared, liked, left an Amazon review, purchased the book. We're not done. We're going to kind of wrap up part of this segment of what we're doing, but it's only 3:30 your time, Greg. We've been going since about 5:30 your time, a.m. And so we're gonna make this push. We've hit number one a couple different things, but obviously we don't go half butts. We go full out, and we want to expose ourselves and make sure that we get to number one and everything we can possibly get, so that we honor everybody that's been involved in this project. So we appreciate you, man. Get back to grinding and doing what you do, and we'll be out to San Diego soon. We'll have to meet up.
Okay, thanks. Peace, man.
All right, bud.
See you, Greg. Thank you.
Bye.